plug in කරගන්න. back. හරි. අපි මෙහෙම දෙයක් කරමු. මම බංගු ගන්නේ අපේ ගෙදර නෙමෙයි. ඒක අපේ සද්දේනෝ මේකෙන් ඇදෙනවා. අපි මේ මගේ ටෙලිෆෝන් නම්බර් එක තියෙනවා පල්ලෙහා. මම කියන්නේ මම මෙන්න මේක තියෙනවා right. 0718 331602. So at any time when I will proceed with the lecture, at any time you can call me. එහෙම කරන්න. text කරන්නත් පුළුවන්. Whatever the way we'll proceed then. ඕනත් දවසම වැඩ කරන්න වෙන කරලා ඉන්නේ. So we'll do it without postponing, right? I'll run through the lecture, and if you have any clarifications, please let me know by telephone or chat or whatever way. ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා අහන්න නැතුව යන්න එපා. ඒක sort කරගන්න, right? So I am Leelanath Daluwatte, and I welcome you all to this lecture. Actually, it's more than a lecture, it's a kind of a workshop and knowledge sharing session. So this photo is a famous thing of mine, which I got it from internet. In here, what it says is a bird sitting on a tree is never afraid of the branch breaking because her trust is not on the branch but on its own wings. මම මේක කියන්න හදන්නේ the last sentence. Always believe in yourself. So this is not highly technical, but more or less අපි මොනවා කරන්න ජීවිතෙත් එක්ක ඉස්සරහට යන්න ඕනේ. ඒකත් එක්ක තමයි මගේ මේ lecture එක යන්නේ. So always believe in yourself. I do in myself. එකපාරෙන් මට අපි දෙයක් නෙමෙයි, but through my exposure, experiences, and observations වලින් තමයි ඒක වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. Okay, අනිත් පැත්තෙන් ගත්තොත් එහෙම if we අපි ඒ පන්සල් යන්නේ, පල්ලි යන්නේ, වගේ දේවල් කරන්නේ, බාරහාර වෙන්නේ when we become weak. ඒ level එක පන්නන්න නැතුව ඉන්න පුළුවන් නම් you trust yourself. ඒතකොට ගායි මොනවක්වත් ඕනේ. You feel very confident. That is the bottom line of being successful. You can be an engineer, a teacher, anybody. So that is one thing I am stressing in here. Then the other one is this is for the as you know ISLB paper project management lecture, and on the bottom that is me. I got a PhD from University of Morotara. That is not a that's after working, like I was very matured in the sense with work experience when I did the PhD. That is based on project management and process improvements, and its core is about efficiencies. Rather, it's about accuracy of the input information will make a difference in cost and time overruns of a project. I can put in if you put garbage in, garbage out කියලා වගේ. ඒතර අපේ just I'm going through some messages. Right. So in nutshell, myself, I have done lots of other things other than the BSc degree. Most of the things are my interest driven because we don't get at a choice when you're schooling. අපි මැත්ස් කරා නම් අපි යන්න ඕනේ ඉංජිනේරින් කියලා සමහර අය ඉස්සරම දැනගෙන ඉන්නවා මම නම් දැනගෙන හිටියේ නෑ but then ගෙදරින් ප්‍රෙෂර් එක එනවා ඉස්කෝලේ පන්තියේ පළවෙනි වුණාම එමේ වුණාම ඒ වගේ කියලා මැත්ස් වල වුණාම අන්තිමට you ended up in the faculty of engineering or else you come on another path but still you become an engineer. So in my case මගේ තියෙනවා mix එකක් in BSc mine was a civil, then HRM, human resource management, diploma in business management, තව එකක් තියෙනවා දාලානේ in MBA. That is only 1 year. Then cleaner production, then human rights ID. Then I'm a distinguished Toastmaster and the second distinguished Toastmaster in Sri Lanka. That is between the name and other things are the professional affiliations, right? So still I go back and I tell you, I invite you to, if you are not at the moment, work on it. That is, you work on believe in yourself. It's not that hard. It's as simple there. But you got to be there. And at any moment you can take my contact number, email, have a screen. If you take a screenshot or whatever at any time, any issue, you can contact me. Whatever issue I'll tell you. And if you miss me, I'll get back to you, right? Work issue in whatever the site situation. If you think I can be useful, I'm there. Then I got a question for you. What is happening world over in project management? And where are we as in Sri Lanka? Where are we? Like we talk about things, how good or how brilliant we are in certain areas, sports or politics or whatever. But in the global scale, where are we? That is a question. I'll tell you something in advance. In project management, we are very weak. I'm not scared to say that. I have evidence about it and I'm sad about it. Because you guys, including the other people who are involved in project management, they are very brainy guys. We are doing very unjust to the society and the country and probably the entire planet. Now I'm asking you about industry revolutions. You have heard about it, right? Industry revolutions because I'm going through. I'm not trying to bother you. I'm going forward, but anytime, please do poke me or ask me. For industry revolutions, now at this moment we are in the 5th industrial revolution. As I remember, it is from 2022, I think, right? That's the 5th one. So I took some information. 4th industrial revolution. And even in that, I was looking at project management evolution. Project management would like any other subject area, like in medicine or literature, it keeps evolving with time to come, with our experiences and things, right? Then project management evaluation, agile and hybrid approaches. In project management, make a for IT industry. But for other project management, like construction project management, it's also there. Highly technical principles. So if you think about agile project management, as I have shown there, in their individuals and interactions over processes. එතකොට processes වලට උඩින් එනවා individuals and interactions between the individuals. Then working software over the documentation. අපි documentation වෙනුවට we fourth industrial revolution එකේදී software එක. Then customer collaboration over contract negotiation. And responding to changeover following a plan. Then මේක ගැන හිතලා බලමු. When you think about all these things, just think what you do as a manager. තාම project manager වෙලා නැත්නම් still you are doing a management part, whatever the scope you are handling in your workplace. It can be a government department or some state organization or a private company or private partnership company. ඕගොල්ලන්ට යම්කිසි ස්කෝප් එකක් දීලා තියෙනවානේ ප්‍රොජෙක්ට් එක ඇතුලේ. ඒ ස්කෝප් එකට මේ ටික අයිති. දැන් ඕගොල්ලෝ තනි තනියම ලියන්න දැන් ඉන්න ප්‍රොජෙක්ට් එකේ ඔයාලගේ responsibilities වල just a brief. හරි? I'll give you 2 minutes. ඒක ලියන්න agile එකේ තියෙනවානේ points 4ක්. ඒ හතරෙන් මොන ටිකද ඕගොල්ලෝ practice කරන්න කියලා. For example, මම මෙතන ඉඳන් බලලා කියන්නම්. ඕගොල්ලෝ යනවා processes වලට. කරන්නේ processes. ඕගොල්ලෝ කරන්නේ වැඩිපුරම documentation. ඕගොල්ලෝ කරන්නේ වැඩිපුරම contract negotiation. And ඕගොල්ලෝ කරන්නේ plan එක follow. So please, I'll give you not 2 minutes, like a minute or so. ඕගොල්ලෝ ලියන්න පුළුවන් වාහන වල යන අයට බැරුවේ. පුළුවන් අය ලියන්න තමන්ගේ දැන් තියෙන වැඩවල කරන්නේ මොනවද කියලා. Last example is whether you are doing documentation or working on software. A particular වැඩක් කරන්න. And yeah, start now. වචන දෙක ලියන්න. Okay. Then the next one is hybrid approaches. එතනදී කියන්නේ structure and predictability for stakeholders, flexibility for developers. මොක තමයි fourth industry revolution එක ඇතුලේ ඇවිල්ලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒක ඉස්සෙල්ලා third, second, first කියලා තියෙනවා. එතකොට මේකේ structure and predictability for stakeholders come over the stakeholders. They come as the owner, consultant, contractor, suppliers, even the government. Hijack the board of Google balance stakeholders. Then there's a flexibility for developers. Okay. Then the fifth industrial revolution and project management. It goes beyond automation and digitization of the fourth industrial revolution. Just go through Google. It's human-centric, sustainable, and resilient systems. It sounds like big words, but the meanings are very simple. When you say human-centric, what they are using here is not robots, but what they call cobots. They are working in hand with the human. They are safe things. Then robot is not safe. We keep inside a fence or locked. Whatever, dangerous. With cobots, they have software built in them. They are not switch off. Then sustainable, I'll explain it later. It's sustainable and then resilient systems. So the system are, they withstand anything like. So the concept has been strongly promoted by the European Commission in the, So Industry 5, that is the fifth industrial revolution, significantly changes. That is significant, significant changes how projects are planned, managed, and delivered. When I say these things, I know most of 99% of you may be hearing these things for the first time. But this is what is happening in outside. අපි මෙතන කොළ කෑලිවල ලීලිය ෂෙඩියුල් එකක් හදාගෙන ප්ලෑනින් ඉංජිනේර කෙනෙක් කියලා කෙනෙක්ව දාගෙන ඉවිල්ලා ඒ මනුස්සයා පොඩි work කළාට just a graduate. Maybe you have played that role. You go from A to B to C to D, then you give the progress at the meeting. උඩිනුත් බැලුම් අහනවා යටිනුත් බැලුම්. That's a role shouldn't be there as far as I am concerned. The planning part and the delivering part should be done by the project manager. He can delegate, but he should take the responsibility. Where are you? Now my previous slide was about where are we as Sri Lankans. So we are almost, I don't like to say, but we are almost nowhere like the Leelanath. So individually, now you focus on yourself, right? Not about anyone else. Individually, where are you? Now this is again on project management aspects as well as your personal level aspects. That's easy. We are not two different things. So where are you and what do you want to be? You must be having an idea about what you want to be. Maybe one of you, if someone tells me I want to become the MD, managing director of this company, I won't be surprised. That's great. You should have those ideas. කවුද වෙන්න ඕනි? එතන මෙහෙම saying එකක් කියලා තියෙනවා Jim Brown. මේ දාලා තියෙන එක මගේ එකක් නෙවෙයි Jim Brown දාලා තියෙන්නේ. You can have more than what you got because you can become more than what you are. Right? And the other side of the thing, unless you change how you are, you always have what you got. Okay, link එකක් දාලා තියෙනවා. You can go through, you can browse and you can do Googling. It is true for me. And there's another saying, you can be born poor, that is excused. But if you are poor when you die, there's no excuse. Now you tell me, what is the project? Then I'm going to ask someone from the list. You have to answer. It can be correct or not, doesn't matter. We have to make a anything. The phone 0718331602. What is the project? Question is, there are two things. On the right top, you can see a house, a small house, and the left bottom, there's a complex-like structure. Question is, do you think both of these are projects? Madhuranga? Now you can chat. Madhuranga, do you think it's both of these are project or not? Heshan Jaisekar?
So both are projects.
I'll tell you. Yeah, both these things are projects. It looks the scales are huge. The difference is huge, but project is basically defined by three things. One thing is a scope. What the current thing, and for that delivering that scope, you get yeah. Thank you. Someone had said we can hear you, so I want you to respond. When I ask, unmute your phone and or else you can put in the chat. right. So it's a scope and time defined, the agreed time to deliver that scope and the agreed cost to deliver the scope. So the three basic things in a project by definition is the scope, agreed time and agreed cost. මොනවා කරත් ඔය ටික තමයි කරන්න ඕනේ. You think about the project you are in what at the moment, what we know. Unfortunately, in Sri Lanka, among our professionals, it's from C9 to CS2 construction companies in private sector, and all the departments and ministries and all the construction people, they they take delaying in a project is as a normal thing or as a norm, which is not should be. It is we are discussing it down later on, and there are two groups of people who are at a kind of progressive meetings. So one set is on the left hand top. අපේ පොතක්වත් නැහැ. මොනවා ගියා මොනවාකට ගියාද දන්නේ නැහැ. I took all this from the internet. පල්ලෙහා ඉන්නේ it is from CSU company helmet එක පරිස්සම් බැලුවොත් පේනවා. And the visiting people are directors of education. රත්නපුර පැත්තේ මොකක්කරි hospital project එක පින්තූර. It's in the internet. ඒතකොට just see කොච්චර ඒගොල්ලෝ එක්කිද්ද කියලා මේ ඔයගේ ඇඳගෙන යන කාණ්ඩේ gadu දැනටත් අතින් අල්ලයි nicely dressed. It's fine of being nicely dressed, but ඔය ඇඳන් ඉන්නකොට ආදී appropriate like ලස්සන tie එකක් දාලා ලස්සනට ඉන්න කරලා but again project එකට යනකොට hands on යන්න ඕන නේ. එහෙම තමයි මම නම් හිතන්නේ. What is management? අපි project management ගැන කතා කරන්නේ. ඒතකොට projects ගැන I brief and what is management? So what do you think this man is doing? Government project management tech කරනවද? Obviously he's going to pluck some horizontal coconut trees. So in which way to pluck the coconut? For some reason he's looking at a laptop. මොනවාරි ඉන්ටර්නෙට් බලනවා හරි ඊමේල් එකක් යවනවා හරි වගේ දෙයක් පින්තූරේ තියෙන්නේ. ඒකෙන් what we can take is he's been distracted. එයා ගමන නෙමෙයි යන්නේ. එයා වෙනඩට ගිහලා even today maybe at the start of this session or else even right through the day, throughout the day, how many times you were distracted? Our mindfulness කියලා කතාවක් කරනවා. I trust if you can do that, that's good. ඒකට පන්සලකට යන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. So anyway, what is management කියන එකේ උත්තරයක් තමයි it is the process of dealing with it's the process of dealing with or controlling things and or people. That's people management. මිනිස්සුම තමයි manage කරන්න අමාරු because they can think. ඕගොල්ලෝගේ instructions ඔක්කොම උදේ safety meeting එකේ දුන්නායින් පස්සේ උන් ගිහලා ඒගොල්ලෝ ඉතින් දෙයක් කරනවා. That is a normal way, especially Sri Lankans. අපිට හිතන්න පුළුවන් ගොඩක් because we are much brainier. Any Sri Lankan is a brainy person, I think. And at the same time, we are not disciplined enough. We don't carry out the instructions given by our team either, for the boss. Now, how do we manage? We went through what is a project and what is management. Now I am asking you, how do we manage? You must have heard about this cycle, PDCA. PDCA is it's a universal thing that is used. Plan, do, check, and act. So in here, plan aspect, there are famous 6 words in English language. Anything fits into this logic. You think about like single I think even in Tamil, any language, this comes in. What we ask about, why you do that, what did you do, when did it happen, how are you doing it, where are you going, who did it. So all these 6 Okay, summary එකට කියන්නේ 5 W's and 1 H. So planning function is based on this logical sequence. What if you plan? What happens if you plan? Then you know where you have to go, what to achieve on the way, the milestones, required resources, methodology, etc. You need resources, human, other resources, machinery, then methodology, uh, etc. Long cover whatever it is going to help you to plan. Sometimes expertise. Then what if you do? If you do, you know what to do. Does the work done according to the specification? We go with the agreed spec of that project. If you take a construction project, yes, with the way we are doing it. Then what to achieve on the way, the milestones. Then check. So you plan, you do. So when you keep doing, you check it at points. When you check what you get, whether the project is progressing according to the plan. If not, identify the gaps. At a particular point, what should have been done and where are we? What have been done? ඒතර ගැප් එකක් එනවනේ. So ඒ ගැප් එක ගොඩක් වෙලාවට අපේ ප්‍රොජෙක්ට්ස් වල නම් අපි පල්ලෙහාන් යන්නේ. සමහරට මුලදී චන්ඩි වගේ ගිහිල්ලා ඊට පස්සේ හොටනිලා you go below the this curve, whatever the curve, right? එතකොට what you do in acting, you act and put it back to rectify those identified gaps. So identify the corrective actions to do, identify the resources required to do that, then resources like human, machinery, equipment, methods, etc. apply to get the project on track. So that is, you go from, the project is running from A to B, say A to Z, you check it at H, level H, and there's a gap of 2% on the work progress. Then you have to put it back. You have to add resources, including time and money or cost, to bring it back to the required uh, accepted planned level. So there'll be an additional cost in that one, and there'll be a time required. So think about the project you are involved in. දැන් ඔයගොල්ලෝගේ බොසස්ලා ඕන එක එක දේවල් කියනවා ඇති. ඒ කිව්වට back of your mind you must be laughing sometimes. මෙයා මේක කිව්වට මේක කරන්න බෑ. මේකට cost එකක් යනවා මිච්චර. I am not talking only about the technical aspects, right? Technical aspects you can, now you got internet everywhere. If you are keen, ChatGPT is there, anything is there. You can find an appropriate answer and highlight and tell him, look, it is here. Which one we have to do. Sometimes he may say, may පහෙන් නැතුව මොකක් කිව්වද කියලා කරපන්. So you have to just go and do it. ඊට පස්සේ අන්තිමට hina යන්නෙත් එයා කියපු දේ වැරදි නම් he will suffer, he or she will suffer. The ඉතින් ඒ දෙන්න suffer කරන්නේ නෙමෙයි. The project will suffer and the result will come down. And the entire project will suffer කියන්නේ අපේ project එකේ output එක පරක් වෙනවා කියන්නේ it is a huge embarrassing and ලැජ්ජ වෙන්න ඕන දෙයක්. Once on track, would the project be the same? Now I need answers to this. Amile Cabral, I need answer. Answers. Yes or no?
No, sir.
Whatever the answer, why? The why comes here. So there's an identified gap at a testing point, and you put it back on the track. Once it is on track, the question is, would the project be the same as before?
No, sir. While
Yeah,
proceeding,
tell me.
while proceeding with the project, there may be some irregularities. So even though the one project is on track, but
Yeah, I get an answer as no.
sir,
Can
can you
you
hear
tell
me?
me why you say no?
Can you hear me, sir?
It can be yes as well, right? Why you say no? Thank you for the answer anyway. Or no is the correct answer. And why, before I say that, there's a little patch here. This one here. It says, if you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. It's again Benjamin Franklin, not me. If you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. Sometimes you plan, still fail. That's a very common thing in Sri Lankan construction industry. Yeah, I got the answer as no, because the time is changing. Okay, time is changing, true, in the sense it will consume more time. But what if you guys are aware of critical path, right? A critical path of a project is if an activity, time of an activity exceeds the agreed activity time, project time will exceed. But there are other activities sometimes you get not in the critical path. Activity time can be increased, still not affecting the delivery time. So there are two types. Critical path is identified through, no, it is done through software, but so in time-based activities, you get certain activities that you get affected. The project delivery of the cost, sorry, delivery of the project get affected time-wise. But there are other activities in the same project which is not going to affect the delivery time. So in that sense, this particular answer can be modified to that is not the answer. No, with the time, it is changing. It is changing, true, but with the change is eventually our contractual obligation is to deliver the project on time. So with this change, does it affect the delivery time of the project? That is the question we have to answer. So the target അറിയാൻ critical path activities. So the activities in the critical path, if any of these things change, yes, time project completion. So it is no, sorry. So project becomes not the same if an activity of the critical path exceeds the given time. Get the backup thing, right? So this is again, after the act, the project may be on the correct path. That is after correcting the gap. Yet it would have exceeded the time and cost allocated at that point. අපි gap එක හැදුවා, still it would have cost more, and to put it back, it takes time, additional time. So additional time maker, as I explained before, it could affect the delivery time of the project if the item activity was on the critical path. If not, activity time will exceed, but the project delivery time won't change. So then the other one is application of effective project management would minimize or eliminate such issues. So this is critical word is effective. Because there are lots of people designate, or lots of companies designate people as project managers. And that is a work area two ways. One thing is there's a huge demand world over for uh, effective project managers. They pay lots of money. They do headhunt project managers, and they are given lots of perks and other facilities. හැබැයි හැමෝම effectively deliver කරන්නේ. So this little picture shows two arrows with three bolts. Now, where and how. Now, where will be the future. And how we get there. The two arrows. So it is in language terms, it's simple, but in delivering, it's not that simple. Let's see what project management can do. Normally, the components of a project can be scope, time, cost, quality, resources, communications, procurement, risk, stakeholders, and reference PMBOK 6, the PMBOK 6 edition, maybe lots of people who do the project management, මගේ මේ copy එකක් තියෙනවා, soft copy එකක්, if someone wants, they can ask me. I can send it to you. එහෙම නැත්නම් ඔයගොල්ලෝගේ ටීම් එකේ කවුරු හරි එක්කෙනෙක් ඉල්ලගෙන අනිත් අයට ඉල්ලන අයට distribute කරන්න. Yeah, there's a remark, additional resources and parallel activities. I think this refers to the question we are discussing. Of course, we need additional resources to uh, fill the gap in that activity, and parallel activities can get affected. Yes, parallel activities can get affected. Say if there are three activities with activity scope time cost එක වගේම තියෙන activities තමයි එක තැන තියෙනවා නම් එමෙත් එකක් පස්සේ එකක් යනවා නම් each one is following the other until one is completed, you can't get on with the activity two sequence in that sequence. So it will affect the following activities, and in the end it might overrun the time of the entire project. So there are more, the project management is not a it's not a totally scientific thing, but you got to be very logical in thinking, clear in your mind. What I say is normally, when I say things, I say the project manager should take time to visualize, not imagine, to visualize how the project is going to happen before starting, right? Before starting. So that is what he needs, experiences and exposure, and he or she can visualize this will be the bottlenecks. These are the areas I can score upon. These are the areas I will need special support. Then his job and the project will be delivered soon. So that is what you call proactive approach. But for in Sri Lanka, most of the project managers they do work reactively. So project manager react වෙනවා කියන්නේ ළඟ ඉන්න ඔයාලා වගේ තව හැදෙන කාණ්ඩෙත් you naturally you get into a reactive mode. You don't know even why you are doing it sometimes, which is very unfortunate. So simple way to understand evaluation. Okay. This is about again evaluation of the PIMBOX. Now 6, 7, and 8. We'll take up about 6, 7, and 8. So PIMBOX 6 is a process-based project management. Then PIMBOK 7 is principle-based project management. Then PIMBOK 8 is integrated model, principles plus processes plus digital transformation. අපි තාම මෙතන කොළවල ලියලිය මොකලාට project එකට ගියාම I have seen even in CS2 companies project manager officer පිටිය ගහලා තියෙනවා මේ schedule එකක්. ඕකේ තියෙන ඔතන තියෙනවා planning engineer කියන junior engineer හතරට යනවා එකතු කරනවා බැනුම් අහනවා ඔක්කොම තමයි. I don't know how you call it project manager or project management. Maybe it is one way of doing it, but it is you just waste time of it. අන්තිමට project එක deliver කරනවා. Cost එක මම මේකේ තියෙන examples I'll tell you. Cost and time has overrun like nothing. And ඒවට කවුද ගෙවන්නේ? The customer will play. The customer can be as individual. It can be just a person or people or the government. ආණ්ඩුව ඒවා. ඉතින් ආණ්ඩුව කියලා දෙයක් නැහැ නේ. ආණ්ඩුව is funded by again people who aids or grants or what. සල්ලි නැහැ නේ ආණ්ඩුවක් කියන එකට. ඒවට ටැක්ස් කරන එක සල්ලි හම්බ වෙනවා නැත්නම් ඒඩ්ස් කියලා හම්බ වෙනවා එහෙම නැත්නම් ලෝන් කියලා අපිට අන්නෝට ගුණනවා. ඔය තියෙන ලොකු ප්‍රොජෙක්ට්ස් කරලා ඔය මොනවා කරත් හැමකෙම nutshell එකකින් එකයි. It can be Mattala airport, it can be Hambantota harbour, it can be Nilunkulaka, ඒ වගේ ලොකු magnitude කියන ප්‍රොජෙක්ට් එකක් වුණොත් in nutshell it is about scope, time and cost. ඔය තුන control වෙනවා නම් you are done. You are a winner. Not only you, your team, your company, and in the end, the country. So in this comparison, 6, 7, and 8 of PIMBOK, and it is the project management book of knowledge. It's a very it's some project managers association, I think, in the United States. In the US, I got batchmates, it's compulsory certain areas that you have to go by so structured. Then practical impact on project managers. I assume you guys are project managers. You can be you can be more than 4 years experienced. Some people sitting here and or maybe a couple of years experience and never been working in the project. Doesn't matter. You assume or you assume a project that you know issue. I live in Kotte. If I come from Boralla to Kotte, or Ayurveda project 8-story, the 10-story, the building CS2 company. Then Parapanal Kara, low line area, which can the low way they'll pay. Then at one time fly over Kadamma. So think about those things. Just recall and live in that whatever you chose, and try to assume you are involved in that project and just see how whether it makes sense, the things that I say about it, right? The others, you always focus on the job you are doing at the moment. I want you to, I like you to, when you finish this session, I like you to be a thought-provoking person, an excited person, though how much tired you are, everybody can be tired. Uh, but you get a feeling that I am influenced and I'm motivated. සමහරට ඉන්දියානකට තෝ කල්පනායි උදේ පාන්දරත් කල්පනායි just go for it, just enjoy the moment. You may be an engineer with 5 4 6 7 8 years of experiences. Still, you would have worked as a site manager, and the next step is a project manager, a senior engineer, junior engineer, doesn't matter. Within you, there's a project manager with scope, time, and cost. නිකන් හිතන්න, you just wherever you live, you want to take an extension for your house. පොඩි annex එකක් හදනවා. ඒක rent කරන්න බලාගෙන අම්මලා තාත්තලාත් එක්ක. So that is a project. ඒ annex එක හදන්න මාස 9ක් කරනවා. That is the time. And you can cost එක maybe 500,000 now. Then the cost and the scope is that annex with a little bedroom and attached bathroom and little veranda piece. ඉතින් ඔයාලා දන්නේම නැතුව ජීවිත කාලෙම සෑහෙන ප්‍රොජෙක්ට්ස් කරලා තියෙනවා. In a way, even if you think about O levels, A levels, university education we had, ඒවත් projects හැටියට හිතන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ කියන්නේ scope එක අපි දන්නවා කොහොමද කරන්න තියෙන, the syllabus. Then time, yes, defined by the government, maybe 2026 A levels මේ කාලේ තියෙනවා. ඉතින් පොඩ්ඩක් ඔක එහෙම කරනවා ඒගොල්ලෝ whatever. Then the cost we don't account for. මොකද අම්මලා තාත්තලා සල්ලි දෙනවනේ, අපි account කරා නම් යන්න පුළුවන් plan cost එකක් හදාගන්න පුළුවන්. tuition වලට මෙච්චරයි, බස් එකට මෙච්චරයි, ඉස්කෝලේ පාසලම් ගස් මෙච්චරයි, කන්න බොන්න මෙච්චරයි, ඒ වගේ කියලා. So everything is a piece of project like. So everyone is a project manager, and it doesn't limit to that point. It goes over and above. It's not only construction. Any area, if you have a scope and a defined time, rather agreed time and cost, that becomes a project. It can be medicine, it can be agriculture, it can be even the government industry. අපි ඉස්කෝලේ හිටපු ඉස්කෝලේට මොකක් හරි ෆන්ඩ් රේසින් එකක් කරලා කරන්න හදන දෙයකට එකක්, පන්සලකට පල්ලියකට මල්ලටක් කරි ගස්සට whatever you do හදන එකක්. Anything can be taken as a project. With this knowledge, please apply that knowledge and share that knowledge. So our attitude and intention is to normally to get involved in a huge project so that you can put something in your pocket. That is a national hobby. ඒවා කරන්න යන්න එපා. I can't say එපා. ඒගොල්ලෝ කරනවා ඇති. මම නම් කළා නැහැ. Whatever I have is what I earned after my first degree. ඒකත් වෙච්ච තමයි තියෙන්නේ. I'm very very happy about it. හරි හොඳ feeling එකක් එනවා. සල්ලි නම් හම්බ වෙනවා. ඒ ගැන කිසි දෙයක් හිතන්න එපා. සල්ලි නිකම්ම එනවා. You would know කොහොමද සල්ලි ආවේ කියලා. Just give your heart and give your smart work to the whatever the job you do. Love your job. If you don't like that job, if you don't like the company, don't be there. Okay. Go for a place that you will like. Or field එකට කොච්චර engineering first class ගාලා හිටියා වුණත් field එකට කැමති නැත්නම් කැමති දේ කරන්න. You will be a happier person. Your rewards will be much better. So, coming back, Kimbok 7 says more flexible and conceptual, encourages system thinking, good for complex adaptive environments in a project, right? Kimbok 8 gives more practical and structured, easier to apply in real project planning, better guidance for hybrid and digital projects. Then the simplified conceptual shift of the 6, 7, 8. මේ කාලෙන් කාලට ආපුවා මම එක තැන දාලා තියෙන්නේ. In Pinbox 6, it is about uh, processes. Follow the processes. මම හිතන්නේ predefined processes 40 ගාන 49ක් තිබුණේ ඔක තියෙනවා. Then 7 is about follow the principles. 8 is about apply principles using the right processes and technologies. Then when you can Google and see. නැත්තම් chat GPT හරි මොකේ හරි බලන්න. එතකොට you will realize අපි හිතනට වඩා ලොකු දේවල් ලෝකේ වෙනවා. And අපි කොච්චර පොඩිද කියලා. And if you absorb those things, you will become so wise and you will enjoy more and more. I can guarantee that. Then I go from here to the management of these components of project management. So components of the project management killer, this is again from Pinbox 6. They have given all these about, I don't know, about 10 components: scope management, time management, cost, quality, resource, communications, risk, procurement, stakeholders. So if you look at it, any project can be broken into these things. And out of these, the three major things are scope, time, and cost, the first three at the top. But you can't deliver those things on their own. You will need the supportive things. The quality comes in from the specifications, what quality you have to deliver. Then the resources you need, human resources, machinery, and methods and other things. You need all this. Then the communication management is very, very important because you got to know transparency, or you got to specifically say what you need in your communications. And sometimes people don't like to sign. They come to a project, consultant comes to a project, they visit, they give verbal instructions, but logbook can check out the පුළුවන් නම් මගහරින්න try කරනවා. I don't know, ඒක තමයි අපේ culture එකත් එක්ක issue එක. If you say මේක මෙහෙම හරි නෑ, you got to do this කියලා, why not give it to you in writing if that's what required? That will of course imply certain cost and time on that project. But when you make a decision, it is when you make the right decision that is there. There's nothing wrong with it. So if you can back your decisions, you should definitely do that. යන්න දෙන්න එපා. එහෙම කරන්න බෑ. If you are, because the contractors, project management and the team, ඒගොල්ලෝ තමයි වැඩිම suffer කරන්නේ. ඒගොල්ලෝ තමයි the consultant project manager කියලා කෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා. පුළුවන් තරම් ඒක එහෙම වෙනවා අඩුයි. So that is again managing communication and change. So apart from scope, time, and cost, we need the other components in the project. Pinbox 6 එකක තියෙනවා උදේට. So let's have a look at the most critical areas. When I say most, that is scope, cost, and time I'm referring. So in this one, it is scope. So what is the project scope? It's the agreed deliverables. So I'm taking 3 real life examples. All these 3 were done by CS2 companies, right? Maybe some of you are working in there, and this is done in the recent past. And so first one is multi-story luxury apartment tower in Colombo, funded by a private ownership. Then the expansion of 21 kilometers of A-class road in hill country with government funding, that is treasury funding. Without okay, RDA. Multi-story, multi-purpose building for a government hospital by, again, government funding. Particularly Ministry of Kara. So it's continued. Now I go to the time management. What is time? Again, agreed time to deliver the agreed scope. Simple. Then with the real figures, time to the project ABC, multi-story luxury apartment, agreed time to deliver is 36 months. To rehabilitate the A-class road, agreed time to deliver is 24 months. Multi-story, multi-purpose building, agreed time to deliver is 24 months. So these are the planned times, correct? Let's see what happened. Then the cost, the agreed cost again to the multi-story luxury apartment is 5.8 billion rupees. Then for the rehabilitation of the road, 2.1 billion rupees. And for the multi-story multi-purpose building, 800 million is the agreed cost. Then projects needs other areas to effectively manage for its successful completion. For example, out of the list I have shown before, let's consider procurement management. Then what is procurement? Supplies can supplies, right? Obtaining all of the products and services required for the project. සාමාන්‍ය procurement කම supplies කම අපි දෙන ගල් වැලි සිමෙන්ති ඕගේ දේවල් වීදුරු එහෙම කියලා. ඒක විතරක් නෙමෙයි. ඒක විතරක් ගත්තම වැඩේ වෙන්නේ you need services. utilities අවශ්‍ය වෙනවා. Power, water. Now internet is very, very important. Then you need suppliers, maybe food suppliers in a මිනිසුන්ට කණ්ඩ ලෑස්ති කරනවා. Everything, drinking water, anything. So you get two types. One is a product and the other one is services. Both are required to දැන් අපි ජීවත් වෙන්නත් ඕනනේ. ගෙදර අපිට මේ නිකන් හම්බෙන සප්ලයිස් තියෙනවා නම් එයාවෙන් ප්‍රීත් එකට සල්ලියක් නැහැ අපිට. So that is a free supplied commodity, right? So if you take the sum of it, the three examples above we considered, total agreed cost is 8.7 billion Sri Lanka rupees. 8.7 billion Sri Lanka rupees, almost 10 billion. So what do you think? Just procuring 8.7 billion worth of goods and top supplies will achieve the goals? The projects, 3 different projects? We'll see. Not at all, I say. Procurement should meet the effectively, efficiently vendor. Procurement should meet the right quality, right quantity, agreed time, and right place. මට මේක හොඳට පුළුවන් මොකද මම කොළඹ ඩොක්යාඩ් එකේ procurement division එක hit කරා. ඒකේ 99ක් 98ක් විතර we procure overseas. මොකද එතන main business එක තියෙන්නේ ship repair and ship building. Or steel, we get no steel, the engines, you name it, paint blast karne ho the if you haven't been to Colombo, can you try and go there? Visit there and visit Teratino Mutte, that is Saturday. I don't know whether there are any seats. Rupial Pansi and Danno Kilakino. But it's worth, to me, I worked there for 15 years. Mama Masaka contracted degree, but ended up working for 15 years. It's like another university. It's more than one PhD. I got it from working there. It's a lot of issues there. And because lots of, they had 41 departments, like different departments, blasting, painting, then HR, whichever transport, IT, procurement, finance ඒවට ලොකු ඒවා ඒ වගේ තිබුණේ ඉතින් සෝ අපේ කාණ්ඩේ ඉතින් කියවන්න කරන්න කම්මැලියකට මට එනවා එක එක જાති issues බලන්න. So I really enjoyed that. And even walking across the what you call the art from it මේ කොනේ ඉඳන් අනිත් කොනට every day you see something new. මේකේ ships වලින් ගලවලා දාලා තියෙනවා. ඒ වගේ very exciting. There's a question, let me repeat. Is asking, can we complete on time with additional resources and parallel activities? Short answer is yes. My question to that is, who is going to pay? You agree on a time and cost. 2 years, you agree for 2 years, and your cost is going to be 100 million to complete the project. And in between, it creates a gap between the planned path and the actual path. We take action. Act. So in that section, this question is asked, can we complete on time? Yes. To complete on time, what we need is resources and cost. Cost resources cost. Just think it this way. You are going to work by bus. Bus again, by if you have the bus stop you spend 100 rupees and you are at your workplace by 8:15, which is the starting time. You plan and go. Getting younger for some reason, say you want to go at 8:15. Then you decide to catch a taxi. The taxi goes faster. Say you take a tuk-tuk, the tuk-tuk goes faster. Bus stops move there. එයත් ඔයාව ගන්නවා අටයි කාලට ගිහලා drop කරනවා එතන. So එයාගේ time completion on time is you achieve. But instead you have to pay more for the tuk-tuk. Bus එකේ රුපියල් 100 නම් එයාට රුපියල් 400ක් ගන්න ඕන. You have to pay extra 300. But answer to your question, yes, with using extra resources. You can achieve, but you will be spending more. And who is going to give that money? The client will have to spare that money because you don't have that kind of money, and even you won't do it. I won't do it. So with that, when you say parallel activities, I know parallel activities current years, are actual sorry, plan actually gap activities sorry, current so this amount again it's a scope, time and cost. That gap is scope, time and cost. The gap is a scope of that gap. Sorry, scope is the gap. Then time taken is the additional time, cost is the additional cost. So once you do these things, your actual point will shift into the plan point. So in short, answer is yes, but it will cost the project more, and you have to make a justification why you want to spend more and complete the project on time. Certain areas you can, and that is a requirement. Like if the opportunity cost of project getting delayed is high, if it is high, you got to take a decision. The decision makers will decide on the project. Okay, let's spend extra 10 million at this point and finish the project on time. Say, for example, Rajagiri flyover. If you take a similar situation, the decision makers will say, you go ahead, we'll give you the 10 million. So that the flyover completion will be on time. So which means, even extension, if it didn't happen, it will go for another 2 months. So if it went for another 2 months, just imagine the cost and time of the users. They were attending, but in the end, it will affect the economy of the country. The cost of petrol, ඊට පස්සේ බ්‍රේක් ගහනවා ඔය හැම එකටම එකතු කරලා ගන්නකොට මොකද ඒ ෆ්ලයිಓවර් එකම හැදෙන්න මාස දෙකක් පාරක් කරන කෙනේ කන්ජන්ෂන් එකත් එක්ක උඩ there are lots of traffic jams. I live in that area. I know that. I go past it. That's an example, right? Then there's another question. It says cost based on time and any other means. If the time exceeds the agreed time, if the time exceeds, yes, it's a cost. If the cost exceeds, it may or may not affect the time. ඕක තමයි හිතමු වෙන්නේ. ඇතර වෙන්නේ තෝකයි. If the time exceeds, ඔයා කරගෙන යන එකත් කරගෙන ඉන්න, just think about the things you have done or you want to do or read about it. Always you can come back to it. හැබැයි cost එක වැඩි වුණා කියලා time එක වැඩි වෙනවා කියන්න බෑ because cost can go over uh, because of the inefficiencies. You complete the identical scope, but you are very inefficient. Not you. I mean, the things how things happen. ඔයාගේ cranes break down, the maintain කරලා and your output of your human resources changes. Detour එකක් આવුත් එම තවත් case එකක්. So the identical scope, the time taken to deliver the identical scope can be more costly in one situation. Agreed? The මතක් වෙච්ච වෙලාව කියන්නම්. I need a favor from, not a favor actually. Once we done this, please give me feedback on what I did today on the lecture scope, because it's so one thing to see, get feedback. I always do that. I request. You can chat එකේ නම් මේක ටිකකින් නවත්තා ඒගොල්ලෝ. email එකේ හරි phone එකේ message එකලා I'm on WhatsApp ඕකෙම තමයි ඉන්නේ. Please give me feedback, right? To improve. බයෙන් දෙපා කැමති ඕන දෙයක් කියන්න. I am ready. I want to hear that. So in this procurement section, let's see what the structured approach be. Plan procurements, then conduct the procurements and control. It is a plan, conduct, and control. Then most of the projects do this, but how effective they are. Just think about the project that you are involved in now. Maybe you had that situation yesterday, maybe last week, maybe last month. Maybe you got blackguarded for that. Without any excuses. And maybe you had done that for someone. Can you justify that? Was that the only person who is responsible for that delay or of no control of procurement? But ගොඩක් දේවල් examples කියන්න පුළුවන්, like something that may site if we have a couple of sites in two different locations in Colombo, for example. One is in Daluwatte, other one is in say Town Hall. You request sand to be delivered. Clear නැහැ instructions quarter දෙන්න ඕනේ කියලා. එතකොට වැල්ලවත්තට යන්න ඕනේ කියලා යවනවා town hall site එකට. හරිද? එතකොට procurement වල right place කියන එක වැටිලාද? නෑ. So who is to blame? Someone has to take the responsibility. Driver වැරදුනා අරක වුණා මේක වුණා ඒව හරියන්නේ නැහැ. You got to take responsibility for your action. Please accept if you had done something wrong and correct it. Correct yourself. That will be an accelerated path for success. Shall we take a break? About 2 minutes matter me. What will happen when you චුට්ටක් relax කරන්න නැගිටලා 1 minute වලින් වගේ එමු. Okay? Right, I'm back. Since we can't talk to each other, okay, we were talking about the taking responsibility for the things that we do in this procurement thing, plan, conduct, and control procurements. And question was, but how effective the contribution of procurement to success of a project? Anybody with experience of not having procurement issues in the project? So these things are thought-provoking questions, but for some, we can't go for those things. Uh, yeah, effectiveness. Now say the project. I repeat, the project has a scope. Then that should be done in agreed time and cost. So the procurement is within this. So if your procurement has issues in delivering on time or getting the correct materials procured, then that will affect the project progress. So it plays a huge role. So some examples I have said. Now in PMBOK, they have a structured approach to all these issues in the sections. That is, they go by inputs, then the tools and techniques, then the outputs. So in the procurement inputs, they have identified what they call a project management plan. It is how the project has to be, that is the schedule like. Then it's a formal approved document that defines the project, how the project is executed, monitored, and controlled. That is project management plan. Then the project documents as plans, specs, data, then the procurement documentation, seller proposals, enterprise environmental factors, organizational process assets. What I suggest is you can go through this. I'm not sure that this is freely available on the net, but I got a copy. I have to fetch for it. If someone likes a copy, eh, you can ask me. Okay, හැමෝටම මේ වගේ තියෙන මෙතන project management plan එකට පස්සේ you know for procurement there's a procurement plan. Sorry, procurement documentation. It is a project documents. I guess plans, specs, data. You have to do that. Couldn't do that. Then based on those ones, you deliver a procurement documentation. There is how the suppliers level ratings, more other can what type of things they can supply. Can we trust them or pay or credit their suppliers like so that we can pay later? All these things. Then seller proposals and then enterprise environmental factors come organization, culture and structure. Okay, cover the all. Then organization process assets come input category previous project plans. If you had done a similar project, then software tools, database of project information, knowledge base, etc. Then tools and techniques what to use. Expert judgment time. This is recognition for people who are mature, who have done similar things before. They are the experts in those areas of procurement. So you get them to give their judgment on what to be done. Then in procurement, you do advertising. Then if someone is going to bid someone, you go for bidder conferences. You know, පැහැදිලි. There's just a second. Uh, yeah, there's a comment to say everything need to be followed by agreement. පොඩක් වේගෙන් දාලා තියෙන විදිය. But I think what he or she meant was the project එකක් වුණාම scope එක මොකක්ද කියලා you get the within the scope you get the specification, right? And මොනවද කරන්න තියෙන කියන එක agreed වෙනවා. Yeah, once it is agreed, that is the path that you are following. It is like a syllabus. A-level syllabus එකේ මේක තියෙන මොනවද තියෙනවා නම් it's too early, madam. Oh, sir. But again, sir, I need a course of copy of this presentation. තාම වාගේනේ හලෝ කරලා තියෙන්නේ මොකද්ද මේ උත්තර පස්සේ කතා කරන්නේ, right? මොකද හිතමු මම නින්දෙන් ඇහැරලා වගේ. Anyway, ඒක කරගන්න පුළුවන් no issue. පස්සේ කතා කරන්නේ. So මම කීකීටි yes අපි ඔක වේග අපි රටේ කල්චර් එක ඇතුළත අපි හැමදේම වේග තියාගන්න කැමතියි. මොකද අපිට પાස්පෝර්ට් එකක් නැතුණත් හොයාගන්න පුළුවන් ID එකක් නැතුණත් හොයාගන්න හොර වැඩ වලට හරි ලේසි. Then in developed cultures, I have worked in developed society. In those cultures, everything more or less is structured. Hurry lazy jivat and your system is well defined. I worked, I played lots and lots of cricket, which I wanted to do from small days, which I did, and lots of social activities. So I am in Sri Lanka by choice, but I love Sri Lanka. You can achieve what you want to in Sri Lanka by somewhat it's worth to develop. You have to mingle with the people who live in that country. Then tools and techniques as this one, video conferences, data analysis, interpersonal and team skills. Then the output, then you get the selected sellers, then agreements on selling, change request, project management plan updates, project document updates, organizational processes, assets updates. Procurement process can have significant legal obligations and penalties. If currently, then again it's on box 6 again currently. Then let's consider the 3 real lifetime examples. Remember, the planned total cost was 8.7 billion Sri Lanka rupees. So I got this. These are correct figures, right? ඇත්තටම වෙච්ච දේවල්. ඒතකොට actual cost එක තියෙන 10.23 billions Sri Lanka rupees. Then the gap is 1.53 billion, which we call it is the overrun above the 8.7 billion originally planned cost. We were planning to do all 3 projects using 8.3 billion rupees, but in the end, for completion, it cost us 10.3 billion rupees. So it has a cost overrun of 1.53 billion, which is 17.6% cost over. It's 17.6 1.53 bedala 8.7 billion. Original actual plan cost again bedala, they multiply by 100%, right? ඒ වගේම total time over and ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා. ඒක හිමම දාන එක හරියටම හරිද කියලා කියන්න අමාරුයි because it's time product, not like cost. Anyway, for the sake of presenting, I have done it. Total time overrun is 29 months. That is ඔක්කොම projects තුනේම plan time තුන එකතු කරලා ඒක complete කරන්න ගිය කාලේ. I remember I had it with 800 million වලට 24 months 12 months වලින් කරන්න තිබිච්ච project එක. ඒකට ගියා 24 months. I know that. ඒතර එතනම මේ ප්‍රොජෙක්ට් එක විතරක් ගත්තොත් that is 100% time overrun නේ. ඒතර මගෙන් then someone asked me about uh, cost overrun, what's happened to cost and what's happened to time. So when the time exceeds cost එක යනවම තමයි. So in this example, for the total of 3 projects, the time overrun is 35%. Which means, in other words, the benefit of using these projects, I shouldn't say as only citizens of Sri Lanka, anyway, so the people, overall they lost 29 months, more than 2.5 years, because these 3 projects took that time. And make a career Lanka, they are from CS2 companies, right? Lanka, project managers like the companies. I know a few of them. And I know some of the CEOs and directors as well. හොඳටම brains in හොඳටම experience exposure in a can't develop. Okay, there are reasons. I control at one time, I know this when the Rajagiri flyover was under construction. It was government group you can't transport sand here. So what happens? Project was in progress. Then they had to stop transporting sands, and then they have to go for an alternative material. They went for ABC. So to use ABC, they had to take approval from the consultant. All this took time. Then that affected the project completion time. And the poor project manager didn't have a control over it. But in the end, the system, how our people look at it, he was taken for task for a fault that he was not responsible. You should stand by your people. It is a must. හරිදේ කරලා තියෙනවා නම් ඒක ඉන්න ඕනේ. මෙල්ල දෙන්න ඕනේ. එහෙම කරන්න. Then only people will start trusting you and they will do anything for you. The beauty of these things, what I say, the beauty is when we talk about project management or any other area of things, but when we do these things, ඕක අපේ personal life එකටත් එනවා. I am sorry, මට මේ කියන්න වෙනවා. Now, if you take one segment of our engineers, they are working in a very cozy life, like සාමාන්‍ය comparatively ලොකු පඩියක් ගන්න නැතුව. පඩියක් හම්බ වෙනවා, but comparatively අනිත් sector එකට වඩා අඩුවෙන් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. අනිත් sector එකේ නාය කඩාගෙන හොඳටම වැඩ කරනවා, ගෙදර යන්නෙත් නෑ මොනවා හරි කරලා, but ඒගොල්ලන්ට permit හම්බෙන්නේ නැහැ මොකුත් නැහැ, but they drive much. If the vehicle is thing, they drive very very attractive huge ඒ වගේ ඒවා ඒක අරගොල්ලෝ රට්ටයකින් permit එකක් සල්ලි දීලා අරගෙන ඊට වඩා වාහන ගන්නවා අරගොල්ලෝ permit දෙනවා වාහන ගන්න ටිකක් අමාරුයි. මම කියන්නේ ඔය comparison එක නෙමෙයි. මම කියන්නේ life එකට ඔක effect වෙන එක. ඒක මම අත්දැකීමෙන් දැකලා තියෙන දෙයක්. When people take it easy and you take it easy, you enjoy it. But when you go into that mode, that වැඩට ඇවිල්ලා එහෙම කරලිවලා නිකන් එහාට මෙහාට කරකිලා එහෙම ඉන්න අයගේ personal life එකත් එහාට මෙහාට කරකින් ඉන්න අය. වැඩට ඇවිල්ලා උඹ කඩාගෙන you give 100% to your work and without knowing you get into that mode. ඒකම වෙනවා තමන්ගේ personal life එක. You check for yourself. I'm sure I hope all of you are that. Because your output is high, your system is wired, getting wired every day, improving that way. And it's not only you will do millions of things on one day and very happy. Now I am very happy today, even yesterday. I like to be happy. Motto just be happy. And ekata man kisi කෙනෙකුට කරදරයක් කරන්නේ then again just do what I know. I enjoy sharing my knowledge. And again, we could do that. Debat කරම කතා කරන communication එක අද හම්බුනේ නැහැ. I'll talk for years ago. But anyway, at least we have this name that මේකත් නැහැ. Now what? Now where is project management in this case? මෙච්චර මේ පොරවල් ලංකාවේ ඉන්න හොඳ පොරවල් ඉන්න හොඳම director boards තියෙන හොඳම operational staff රකින්න ratings වලින් ගත්තොත් ස්ලීඩාගේ CS2 these companies they are allowed to do contracts above 3,000 million 3 billion වලට උඩින් quote කරන්න පුළුවන් වැඩ ගන්න පුළුවන් companies 9 10 8ක් 9 10ක් වගේ ගන්න තියෙන්නේ ඒකෙන් කරපු projects මේ ඒගොල්ලෝ කරපුවා ඉතින් මේ කාණ්ඩෙත් අතින් මෙහෙම වෙනවා just imagine පල්ලෙහා මොනක්වත් වැරදි කියනවා නෙමෙයි but that is fact I have seen C1 එකේ CS2 එකේ gap එක huge gap. It's not only the allowable contract sum. It's the gap of everything. Attitude, carelessness, negligence, products. As I think, it's from the values from your family background or school values. One can මහලොකු ඉස්කෝල වල යන්න ඕනේ නෑ එහෙම නෙමෙයි. උනාට values තියෙනවා. කෙනෙක්ට උදව්වක් කරොත් මතකෙ ඉන්න ඕනේ. ඒක ඒ වගේ දේවල් එක්ක මොකද මිනිස්සෙක් එකපාරටම පොරක් වෙන්නේ මේ ප්‍රොජෙක්ට් මැනේජර් කෙනෙක් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඒ මිනිස්සම තමයි අනිත් අය කරන දේවල් තමයි එයා හොඳ එක්කෙනා හැම එකටම හොඳයි. More or less. So where is the management of projects? Where's the application? ඉතින් මේකම චූටි ස්කේල් වල ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඉන්නවා කියලා මම දන්නවා. You know that I know. මම එක්කෙනා හවුවොත් ඔයගොල්ලෝ කරන්නේ නැත්නම් ඔයගොල්ලෝ එක්කෙනා මට කිව්වොත් මේ ලෙවල් එකේම එක ස්කේල්ස් වල විවාදයක්. You may not be responsible totally, but you are responsible, could be responsible. If you think about the scope that you are delivering, you are to deliver. If you think about how you control that cost and time given to deliver that particular scope, and if you can be happy that you had done a great job there, salute. Project value 5 billion, what the Latin area maybe 1 million, 10 million. And if you had done that 10 million area for the satisfaction of 80% of delivering the project scope, the full scope we deliver 80% the project making level like then you are up there. You will be successful. There's another comment. The contractors control when the employee is a government entity. We'll come to that. So, what happened to the wealth? This is what I was talking about. What happened to the wealth of project management knowledge with Sri Lankan process? Apa yang porol? Di poragamuko. With evidence, I am showing. All academic, professional, and vast experience we Sri Lankans have. Tools we use, MS Project, and then ERP, SAP, etc. This is extremely serious. It is very serious how much these overruns create opportunity costs. It's individually cost to the organization, both it could be state or private sector or private public PPP partnership. Even the stakeholders, including owners, consultants, contractors, suppliers, neighbors, etc. Then the economy of the area, when a project happens, the economy of that particular area getting positively affected, function getting down. And in the end, the economy of the entire country. We talk about what politicians do to the country, but you will see. And if you don't agree, you write. You talk to me. You write call Kanada, Kanada, Onega. These people, not people, what they do is more dangerous. ඔය ටික එකතු කරලා ගත්තොත් අවුරුද්දකට අපිට දැන් ඔය මම ප්‍රොජෙක්ට්ස් තුනයි පෙන්නුවේ. එක අවුරුද්ද වගේ එක වරුද්ද එක කාලය වගේ තිබිච්චා. Just just take the sum of the entire thing. How much money was wasted on not money at the opportunity costed. And in addition to that, the frustration it creates. This is going to happen. You got to enjoy your life, you got to enjoy your work. If you have to you go to your school meeting of your kid, you have to go. But you should be good enough to make it happen, make sure the project won't get suffered. Because we are supposed to be engineers because we did the A-levels and yes, agreed, and we should be proud of it. But the delivery path, මට තියෙන issues ම තමයි මගේ ළඟ වැඩ කරන අන්තිම level එකේ මේ work එකක් තියෙනවා. ඒ මනුස්සයාට wife කෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා, මනුස්සයාට ගෙදරක් තියෙනවා, මනුස්සයාගේ ළමයි ඉස්කෝලේ යනවා, ළමයි meetings වල කතා කරාම යන්න ඕනේ, මොකද හැමදේම common light bill එක ගන්නවා, water bill එක ගන්නවා. So you should be empathetic about those things. Sympathetic වෙන්න එපා. I am not saying that කවදාවත් වෙන්න ඕනේ unless it is needed. ඒ පාත් එක හදලා දෙන එකත් ඔයගේ කෑල්ලක්. HR එක HR කියන්නේ company HR නෙමෙයි. HR function එකේ ඔය කතා කරා. So this is more philosophical. But as engineers, we should be practical. එහෙම වුණාම මිනිස්සුන්ගේ you know the synergy. අපි mathematically අපි කියන්නේ 1 + 1 is equal to 2. But when it's come to human, 1 + 1 is more than 2, greater than 2. Individual then make දාන effort එක output එක දෙකට වඩා වැඩි. දෙන්න වෙනම දාන එකට වඩා වැඩි. It's more. And that's a fact. ඒක වෙන්නේ නිකම්ම වෙන දෙයක්. ඒකට පාර හදන්න එක because you guys are going to become huge leaders in time to come. And your contribution is needed to this country. Because we have a very, very logical mind and everything. You owe that. At least A-levels in the law, it was a first degree. Apivan, the Mahogato, the Mahonikamogi Heduni. And the apprentice are leaving at it. School year, pass gongas, were So you got to give it back. වෙන කතන්දර දාලා පඩි වැඩි කරන්නේ සීට් එක වල පඩි වැඩි කරන්න කියලා මම දැක්කා මේ CB එකේ කණ්ඩායම් කියලා පඩි වැඩි කරාට තියෙන කේම් බලන්නේ ඔය visual look at the Maslow's theory කියලා තියෙන්නේ management ඒක පැහැදිලිවම කියන දෙයක් තමයි management වල financial incentives won't last long. You go through the characters like Steve Jobs, what he can't be characters, Bill Gates, and Kyola Balan, they are very interesting and how they think. And they have done lots and lots of good things to the human nature. Sometimes controversial, but yes. So then I repeat, this is extremely serious, right? How much these overruns create opportunity cost. Again, the hardest part is it affects the economy of the country. අපිට budget deficit එකක් හිතෙන්නේ නැහැ අපි වෙලාවට වැඩේ කරන්න. අපි හරියට projects ටික identify කරලා කරන දේ කියන විදිහට deliver කරගන්න කරා නම් ඒ එන ටික එහෙමම වෙනවා. I guarantee I take a challenge කවුරුන් නැහැ කියනවා I'd like to I'd like to change my views if that is correct. But I know this is correct. And I ask you, don't you feel guilty? I feel guilty sometimes. But at the same time, samata dukai. Because these monies, keeping it ඊට වඩා හොඳ අපි ඉස්සෙනකොට යට ස්ට්‍රාටා එකත් තචුටක් ඉස්සෙනවා. ඉතින් ඔක්කොම කතන්දර එකක්. But one thing I like to ask you is to look at the areas that you can control and apply what you know, your knowledge, your skill and attitude and whatever you took from this presentation discussion. පුළුවන් විදිහට apply කරන්න. You may not be successful on the first day or first month or two. But okay, and the other truths, like ඔයාගේ wife to husband, girlfriend to boyfriend, බබාලා පුතාලා දුවලා ඉන්නවා කාණ්ඩෙට. Because in the end, collectively we will be contributing. මේකත් ලොකු waste එකක් තමයි. But the present government is they are talking about මොකද corruption නැහැ කියලා. Which I think it's okay. Corruption නැහැ. ඉතින් මේකත් intangibly දෙන ලොකු corruption එකක්. මේක. මෙච්චර මේ ගැන උගන්වලා ඔක්කොම කල්ලි වෙලා පොරවල් වෙනෙන් ටෝක් දාගෙන ඉන්නවා වැඩේ කරන්නේ. I am not saying everybody is doing the same. සමහර අය ඇති, උඩටම කරන අය ඇති. ඉන්නවා ඕනේ. But that is not good enough. අර projects වලටම here the 35% time overrun එකකුයි 17.5% over the cost overrun එකකුයි කියම නිකන් හිතන්න අර 17.5 cost overrun එක අපි project terms වලින් දාලා බලුවොත් 17.6 කියන්නේ 887 billion කියන 1.53 billion 1.53 billion කරන්න ඕන එක අර මේ 800 million project එකක් තියෙනවා නේද තුනේ එකක් ඒ වගේ project කීයක් කරන්න කියලා පුළුවන්ද කියලා බලන්න. You can do almost 2 projects 1.91. Then මේ cost overrun එකෙන් අර 800 million project එක දෙකක් කරපේ cost overrun එක නෙලෝ. එතකොට එහෙම ගත්තොත් මේ projects තුනට කිව්වද මේ projects හතරක් කරන්න. ඒ බැරුනේ. ඒ බැරි. පුළුවන් අපිට පුළුවන් මම නම් බෑ කියන්නේ පොඩ්ඩක්. එකම දේ we are not government එක වැඩ කරනවා කාණ්ඩුවේ සල්ලි අරගෙන මේක ඒ පැත්ත private sector වැඩ කරන මොන් අපෙන් මරවල වැඩ කරනවා. එහෙම නැහැ මරවල වැඩ කරනවා ගෙදරින්ද. If you are working you 100% nothing less. You should work as if you are working for your own company. Sometimes you might end up having your own company, but do that. That will give you huge pleasant thoughts and that will go to yourself within you. ඒක ඔයාගේ family එකට හැම දෙයකම ඒක යනවා. I am telling you because I have experienced it. Now what can we do? ඒකට මම හිතන්නේ I said enough. If you have anything, you can comment here on the chat box, or else you can call me or another presentation copies. මට කතා කරන්න. Right? I want to talk to them. Otherwise, දෙන්නෙක් ඉල්ලුවා මේකේ chat එකේ. You can call me. And ඊට පස්සේ ප්‍රශ්නයක් කාලා දුන්නේ government එකයි contract එකයි කියන්නේ. The contractors control when the employer is a government entity. Well, this is in Sri Lankan context. මේක නිකන් අමුතු කතන්දරයක් ආවට government is the employer කියලා කියන එකේ සම්බන්ධයක් නැහැ. Employee is employer, contract is contractor, consultant is consultant. ඒගොල්ලොන්ගේ job roles are well defined. Contractor has to control his scope. Yeah, he will be given a scope. Yeah, he will be given a contract. Contract is spec up, then the scope is there. Then there's his money and the cost and time for him to complete the scope. Yeah, job from the government side, as the employer, the government, the employee is obliged to pay back, keep what has agreed on the contract documents and if the things, once the things are uh, done on as per specifications to uh, release the bills or pay the contractor as agreed on time intervals or as a monetary division, whatever the agreement they have to honor. අපිට ට්‍රෙෂරියෙන් සල්ලි ආවේ නැහැ කියන එක ඒක උත්තරයක් නෙමෙයි. නමුත් ඒක තමයි වෙන්නේ. අන්තිමට කන්ට්‍රැක්ටර් කොහොමද මේ මිනිස්සගේ ටීම් එක බේරගන්නේ? මේ මිනිස්සගේ ඉන්නට මේ මිනිස්සු බෑක් ලෝන් ගහලා ඇති. ඊට පස්සේ ඒත් එක වැඩ කරනවා ගෙවල් වල all the issues they have or they may have the employer can contractor will have to look after its employees. In this case, the government is the paying body. And ඒකට අතරමැද්දට කන්සල්ටන්ට් කෙනෙක් වැටෙනවානේ. සමහර ගවර්න්මන්ට් ඒ වගේ මේ නෑනේ කන්ස්ට්‍රක්ෂන් ගැන අපි කතා කරොත් they don't have the strength. ඒතකොට CCB හරි SCC හරි මොකක්ද SDNCC හරි lowland area board හරි annual කන්සල්ටන්ට් හැටියට ඒගොල්ලෝම දානවා. ඒතකොට ඒ recommendation එකත් උඩ ගවර්න්මන්ට් එක සල්ලි රිලීස් කරනවා. So that is the job. Suppose the government කිව්වම එතන වක්කලාට සිවිල් සර්වන්ස් ලාමයි ඉන්නේ. Then they are also brainy people. ඒගොල්ලෝ කිසි ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ එකම දේ. ඉතින් sometimes our people වැඩේ කරනවට වඩා නොකර ඉන්නනේ කතා කරන්නේ. ඔය ඔක්කොම එක තමයි මේ වැඩේ it's a nice question. ඔයා මේ question එක දාපු කෙනා can you talk to me after? අද කතා කරත් හොන්නේ මේ මොකද we are going to wind up this session. මෙතන මේ ප්‍රශ්නෙට උත්තරේ the contractor's control when the employer is a government. The contractor should control his scope of work technically, and the government should compensate for it. So they come agreement together. Once you agree, okay, disputes out, arbitration, that's a lost cause. When we go to work, when we start doing something, we have a good faith of completing it, right? නඩු කියන එකවත් arbitration එකත් බැරිම වුණොත් කියනවා සමහර යනවා. ඒ වුණාට in my view that is waste of everything. So I think I gave the answer on this one. Please කවුරුහරි මේ දැනගන්න දේවල් තියෙනවා මට අහන්න නැත්නම් මගේ WhatsApp එකට දාන්න. නම දාන්න කොහෙද වැඩ කරන්න කියලා දාන්න. When you give the feedback, I like if you can give your name and place of work and a contact detail. නැත්නම් නමයි contact detail එක තිබුණත් ඇති. ඒකත් එක්ක just give me some feedback on today's session. I would really appreciate that. So again, couple of sayings. Pele, he had said success is no accident. It's hard work, perseverance, learning, studying, sacrifice. If I were given an opportunity to suggest something, I would say I would replace word hard with smart work. So most of all, love of what you are doing or learning to do. ඒක තමයි you got to love what you are doing. ඒතර කිසි issue එකක් නැහැ. ආසාවෙන් කරන්නේ. අනිත් එක compete කරන්න යන්න එපා. Always compete with yourself. ඊර්ෂ්‍යා කරන්න යන්න එපා. කිසි තේරුමක් නැහැ. අමාරුයි කිව්වට සමහර අයට කරන්න බෑ. but ඒක ටික ටික පුළුවන්. මේ always compete with yourself. අද මම මෙච්චර කරන්නේ මම දැන් පුරුදු එක්සෑම් වලින් ගත්තොත් අපි හිතමු අද 65 ඉඳන් ඔයාලට හම්බුනේ වගේ තව පන්ති එක්කෙනාට 80ක් තියෙනවා නම් හොඳ එක්කෙනාට ඔයත් 80ට යන්න try කරන්න ඕනේ අරයව 80 ගත්ත හින්දා නෙමෙයි because you want to improve. You are competing with yourself. That is the best way to live. Then you don't feel unnecessary pressure. So the bird is coming back. I like the last sentence. Always believe in yourself. You got to believe in yourself. You have to, and that will give you huge confidence in anything, not only in project management, but also in your personal life, uh, your, with your partners or your friends or anything. And I wish you all the success and always believe in yourself like a bird sitting on a branch of a tree. The branch එක කරනකොට කුරුල්ල වැටෙන්නේ. කුරුල්ල දන්නවා ඒක. If the branch breaks, I have strong wings. I am going to fly. So be a bird like that. You are, I think, or you are already. ඒ ටික තමයි ඉතින් මේ දැනගන්න ඕනේ. And feel free to contact me as and when required. It can be your area, it can be your workplace area, එහෙම නැත්නම් මොකක් හරි issue එකක් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. I will give you best I can. මම බාරගත්තොත් මොනවා හරි කරලා දෙනවා. This is nothing to do with money. සල්ලි නෙවෙයි කතා කරන්නේ. මේ knowledge sharing, right? So that's it, I guess. If you have anything to say, you can say that. Madhuranga, then Madhu Shankar, AIM numbers they got in and just going through the list. Amila Cabral, Banduka. Sorry, I missed your name first time. Bandula, very sorry about that. Chamikara, Chamila, Abhayat, Abhedira, Chandima or Chandima, Dinusha Lenagi, Gyan, then Sumanasena, Herat, Heshan, Yomi, Roshan, Lakshita, Nipun, Niranga, and one Rachit, Sampat, Subhasingh, Sharita, Shihan, Sudarshika, Supun, Suranga, Thenuka, Udara, V, Amarasiri, Xiaomi. That's a lot I have here. Thank you very much for joining us. I trust you got something out of this meeting. And all the best to you. And the chat box is active. Let me see what it is. And anybody, if anybody wants to go, I think about PMBOK requirements, maybe they make it the messages dahatak kari. Thank you, sir. You are welcome. Please give me a feedback on the session.